Hi friends, this week I'm so excited to have you join me on the ultimate national park adventure organized by Visit Visalia and Visit Yosemite Madera County. Today we're kicking off an epic journey along California's Majestic Mountain Loop, the perfect multi-day itinerary that takes visitors through 3 different national parks featuring towering sequoias, ancient cave systems, and roaring waterfalls. So buckle up and join me inside Sequoia, Kings Canyon, and Yosemite National Park. Today's adventure covers 20 stops in 3 national parks over 4 days. And we're starting at the Darling Hotel in Visalia, a perfect home base to begin our trip. After getting checked into your guest room, head over to the Visalia Visitor Center to grab your Majestic Mountain Loop road trip guide before heading into Sequoia National Park. Stop number 1 on today's journey is the Giant Forest Museum, which provides visitors with a deeper appreciation for the giant forest and the sequoias that call it home. Just outside the museum, you get an up-close look at the Sentinel tree, towering over 250 feet tall and 2,000 years old and still growing. Then head inside the museum for fascinating interactive exhibits, history, maps, park info, and a gift shop before heading back to your car and driving less than 2 miles to our next stop. Stop number 2 in Sequoia National Park is Moro Rock. This striking granite dome offers a short but steep climb with hundreds of stone-carved steps that weave up the rock face, which was constructed in 1931 by the Civilian Conservation Corps. The Moro Rock hike is short but certainly a bit steep as you climb over 350 stone-carved stairs. The views are magnificent all along the way, but if you're afraid of heights, you'll want to hang on to the handrail on your way up. At the top of Moro Rock, you have unbeatable panoramic views of the park before heading back down the trail and less than 1 mile to our next Sequoia highlight. Stop 3 on our journey today is located in the Crescent Meadow area, and it provides park guests with a truly unique experience. At Tunnel Log, you can walk and drive through a fallen giant sequoia. This unnamed giant sequoia tree is believed to have been over 2,000 years old when it fell across the roadway in 1937. After a fun drive through this stunning fallen giant, it's time to head off just 4 miles to our towering stop number 4. But along the way, take a moment to admire the Parker group of giant sequoias. The historic autolog, decades ago, cars could drive out on this tree, and the Brigadier General Charles Young tree, named for the first African-American superintendent of any national park. Stop number 4 on our Sequoia itinerary is a biggie. In fact, this is the largest tree by volume in the world, standing at over 275 feet tall and over 100 feet in circumference at the base. The General Sherman tree is a living legend at over 2,000 years old and still growing. The trail to General Sherman is a paved path just over a mile round trip. Exhibits along the way explain the natural history of giant sequoias, and there are plenty of views to admire this giant, and even walk around the base of this tree along the marked trail. For more exploring next to the General Sherman tree, you can explore the 2-mile Congress Trail. Highlights include the Senate group, the House group, and many more giants. Then it's a winding 11-mile drive to our final stop of day 1. Stop number 5 of our adventure is the incredible Crystal Cave. Come join me and let's check it out. Crystal Cave is open seasonally and only accessible by booking a cave tour in advance with the Sequoia Parks Conservancy. This tour includes a half-mile round-trip hike with a few steep stair-step sections, Once you enter the cave, you are met with unbelievable stalactite, stalagmite, and flowstone formations, and a Field Institute naturalist guides you through the magical chambers here. As we round out our day, it's time to head back to Visalia and the Darling Hotel to relax for the evening, before getting up early in the morning for day 2 of this adventure and driving 50 miles to our second national park of the trip, Kings Canyon National Park. And just inside the entrance gate, we start our day. Stop number 1 in Kings Canyon National Park is the General Grant tree in Grant Grove. This is the second largest tree in the world, and it was declared the nation's Christmas tree in 1926. Not only can you walk around this giant sequoia for up-close views, but there are also numerous other towering trees you can visit here. The easy 1/3 of a mile paved path at Grant Grove also leads to other highlights like the historic Gamlin Cabin, the Sentinel Stump, and my personal favorite, the fallen monarch tree. Now, we don't know exactly how old this tree was or when it fell, but you can walk through the entire length of this hollowed out giant, and early pioneers even used this tree as a shelter. Heading out to our next stop, enjoy a 20-mile drive along Highway 180, also known as the Kings Canyon Scenic Byway. I'm sure you can see why. This stunning stretch of road zigzags deep into Kings Canyon, and there are several spots to pull off and enjoy the magnificent views here. As you begin to descend into the canyon, you see the Kings River first flowing from above, and then soon you drive right next to the water and can see this river flowing for up-close views. Our second stop of the day takes us to Boyden Cavern, nestled beneath the towering 2,000-foot marble walls of Kings Canyon. Boyden Cavern offers guided walking tours through a stunning cave system. After getting checked in for your tour, you head up a short but slightly steep paved path to the cave entrance. Now, the views all along this walk are picture perfect. And then it's finally time to enter the massive marble cave system. Your guide shares the history of this place as they lead you deeper into the cavern. And after exploring all of the otherworldly formations here, you might even have the opportunity to head out of this cave the adventurous route through a winding watery path. And then it's time to walk back down to the parking area and drive 13 miles to get ready to enjoy a family-friendly waterfall. Stop number 3 today takes us to Roaring River Falls, a stunning 40-foot waterfall right off the main highway. It's easily accessible by a paved, wheelchair-friendly trail at just 1/3 of a mile long. This is the perfect stop for visitors of all ages and abilities. From the parking lot, this short and easy and mostly shaded walk leads to direct front and center views of Roaring River Falls. The 40-foot drop is most impressive in early summer when the water's raging, and the sound of this waterfall certainly lives up to its name. There are several wonderful rock outcroppings, perfect to relax or enjoy a picnic. But it's important to remember that rocks near the water can be slippery, and even calm-looking surface water can be hiding strong currents below. Drowning is one of the most common causes of death in Sequoia and Kings Canyon National Parks, so use caution anytime you're viewing park features near the water. From Roaring River Falls, we're headed out to a quiet spot just over 1.5 miles down the road. Stop number 4 in Kings Canyon is Zumwalt Meadow, which offers a serene 1.5-mile trail that meanders through lush meadows along the Kings River and beneath towering granite walls. In the past, this hike could be done as a loop, but currently due to trail damage, a section of the hike and meadow are closed right now, so it's an out and back adventure. But this spot is absolutely still worth a stop. It's a short but impressive adventure, and it's also a great starting point for other hikes like heading to Roaring River Falls or Bubbs Creek. The flora and fauna is at its finest here, with towering trees and wonderful wildflowers to be seen. And of course, all sorts of animals call this area home. You never know what you might see. After a short walk, you reach the suspension bridge, and the river views here are a dream. But that is just the beginning of this picture-perfect adventure. Soon, you'll head into a short but towering boulder outcrop area. This is a mini adventure all on its own. Traversing the rocks here only takes a few minutes, but the massive surrounding cliff views will definitely take your breath away. Then it's just a short walk to the lush green meadow scenery, and once you have finished soaking in the soothing solitude of this spot, simply return the way you came, and it's just a 1-mile drive to our final stop of the day. And let me take a moment to remind you to drive with care and never speed, because look at what I happened to encounter on my recent drive. It's such a gift to see these black bears in their natural habitat and to be a guest in their home. I always want to be bear aware and a good steward as I visit, and I hope you will too. Our fifth and final stop of the day is Rhodes End, where Highway 180 comes to an end and the backcountry adventures begin. Here you'll find the jumping off point for some of the park's most iconic trails, including Bubbs Creek Trail, Woods Creek Trail, and more, offering access to spectacular and breathtaking views. You can get your wilderness permit at the Rhodes End Wilderness Permit Station for overnight adventures like Copper Creek Trail, and you can also report any bear sightings here. For a shorter adventure, you can head out on the river trail, and one of my favorite highlights here is Moro Rock, named because it said that John Muir would give public talks on this beautiful rock. And this spot brings a wonderful day in Kings Canyon National Park to an end. As the sun sets, it's time to head to our home base for the rest of the trip. The drive to Oakhurst in Yosemite's Southern Gateway community is just over 120 miles, and I'll be staying at Sierra Sky Ranch, located just 10 miles from Yosemite's Southern Gate entrance station. After a good night's rest and a breakfast at Sierra Sky Ranch, it's time to set out on day 3 of California's Majestic Mountain Loop road trip, exploring Yosemite National Park. The last few days, we saw the giant sequoias of Sequoia and Kings Canyon National Parks. But did you know Yosemite also has ancient sequoia groves? Stop number 1 today is the Mariposa Grove of giant sequoias, home to over 500 mature giant sequoias, including icons like the grizzly giant tree behind me. Mariposa Grove of giant sequoias is located just inside Yosemite's South Gate entrance station. Now, typically from mid-May through November, a free shuttle service takes visitors from the Welcome Plaza 2 miles up to the trailhead. Begin along Big Trees Loop Trail, an easy, flat 1/3 of a mile walk that showcases many giant sequoias, interpretive panels, and of course, the huge fallen monarch tree. Then continue on to the Bachelor and Three Graces and the Grizzly Giant Loop Trail, a 2-mile loop to the namesake Grizzly Giant Tree, a 3,000-year-old giant sequoia famous for being visited by John Muir and President Roosevelt on their Yosemite trip in 1903. Another famous stop here is the California Tunnel Tree that you can actually walk through. And you can also continue on to explore Guardian's Loop Trail and Mariposa Grove Trail. But today we're heading back on the road for a 5-mile drive to step back in time. Stop number 2 today is the Yosemite History Center, a walkable collection of historic buildings, including a beautiful covered bridge. This area tells the story of Yosemite's earliest park rangers, settlers, and stagecoach travelers. As you begin to explore here, you're met with an impressive collection of horse-drawn wagons, and then you walk through the beautiful Wawona Covered Bridge, which was built in 1857 by Galen Clark. A short stroll takes you past the old Yosemite Valley Wells Fargo office, a small jailhouse constructed of rough granite stones, the Artist's Studio, Crane Flat Ranger Patrol Cabin, and Old Gray Barn Building, along with many more, before getting back in the car for a 25-mile drive heading up Glacier Point Road. Stop number 3 takes us up Glacier Point Road to head out on a hike to Taft Point, which offers some of the most jaw-dropping views over Yosemite Valley with sheer cliff drops thousands of feet straight down. This 2.2-mile out and back hike heads into the shaded trees before the forest breaks open, revealing Taft Point clifftops in all of their glory. As you head out, you'll see massive fissures cutting through the granite here, and there is one small section at the edge of the cliff with a little railing area. If you feel brave, peek over the edge here, but the rest of the views are wide open with some of the most grand scenery in all of Yosemite National Park. If you prefer to steer clear of the sheer drop-offs, from the Taft Point trailhead, you can set out in the opposite direction to Sentinel Dome for more magnificent views, minus the 1,000-feet drops. And then it's time to drive a mile and a half to another stunning spot. Continuing up Glacier Point Road brings us to stop number 4 on today's journey. Washburn Point offers a very unique profile view of Half Dome, along with an unbeatable look at Nevada Fall, Vernal Fall, and the famous Mist Trail down below. This overlook was named for the Washburn brothers, who ran the Wawona Hotel and built the road that made these views accessible to early park visitors. Here you do have similar views to Glacier Point, but Washburn Point is typically much less crowded. You get a side profile view of Half Dome, along with Nevada and Vernal Fall views, plus an extra waterfall sighting with Illilouette Falls before heading less than 1 mile down the road. Our 5th and final stop of the day is easily one of the most iconic views in Yosemite National Park. From Glacier Point, you have a full face-to-face view of Half Dome. Walk down to the outdoor amphitheater and fire pit area. Then take the short and scenic stroll along the path and keep an eye out for local Yosemite wildlife as you approach the popular and historic Geology Hut. Of course, the official Glacier Point overlook is truly magnificent, and if you can time your visit for golden hour, Glacier Point is unforgettable as the sun dips behind the western ridge. This is truly the perfect place to end your day inside Yosemite National Park. I would definitely recommend staying after sunset to see the spectacular stars here at Glacier Point. Then drive back 40 miles and make some late night s'mores at the Sierra Sky Ranch before getting up and setting out on day 4 of our Majestic Mountain Loop road trip. Our first stop of the day is actually located just minutes from Yosemite's south entrance at the Yosemite Mountain Sugar Pine Railroad. This is a chance to sit back, soak in the forest, and ride through the mountains. This area was a hub for logging into the early 1900s, and this railroad is a living tribute to that era. Before your train ride, you can visit the property's Thornberry Museum, filled with history. And stop by the gold panning station. You can also grab a bite to eat, and along with the daytime train rides here, you can book a moonlight special experience, which includes dinner and live entertainment, as well as a moonlight train ride. Now, whether you spend your evening here or stop for one of the daytime 1-hour rides, you're sure to have a blast. And then it's time to head into the park for the rest of our adventure. Stop number 2 of today's itinerary takes us to Tunnel View. Now, as you exit the Wawona Tunnel, you are suddenly hit with a postcard perfect scene that's welcomed generations of Yosemite visitors. Ansel Adams helped make this view legendary with his photography. Today, it's one of the most photographed spots in the entire national park system, meaning there's often at least a bit of a crowd here, and that's understandable because this view is magnificent, particularly for sunrise early in the morning, and all throughout the day, especially as puffy clouds roll through, and the aspen glow sunsets are hard to beat, along with brilliant Milky Way starry skies at night. Now, don't be discouraged by crowds because there's plenty of room for everyone. And you can borrow my little secret sauce if you want to capture a selfie on your own. Simply head over to the overflow parking side view. It's still a beautiful angle, but without all of the people crowding together for that center shot. And now it's time to head down into the valley. Stop number 3 today is Yosemite Village. Now, Yosemite Village provides a hub of culture, history, information, and amenities for first-time visitors and seasoned adventurers alike. Yosemite Village is home to the Wilderness Center, the post office, and yummy dining options for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Here you can stock up for an adventure at the village store. Visit the Yosemite Exploration Center for history exhibits, climbing exhibits, and so much more. Learn about the Yosemite Conservancy, or stroll through the Indian village of the Ahwahnee. Check out the Ansel Adams Gallery, visit the Yosemite Valley Museum, or chat with a ranger at the Welcome Center. Stop number 4 on today's Majestic Mountain Loop itinerary is hiking the short paved path to Lower Yosemite Falls. Come join me. The Lower Yosemite Falls Trail is an easy 1-mile paved loop with less than 50 feet in elevation change, and the views all along this short walk are nothing less than spectacular. The most stunning views, however, are probably found at the base viewing point. In late spring and early summer, Yosemite Falls is so powerful you can feel the mist on your face and hear this waterfall roar echoing off the granite walls. Cross the footbridge to enjoy more stunning views before continuing on with your Yosemite Valley adventure. Our final stop of the day is Valley View. Now here you're right at river level, looking into the heart of Yosemite Valley. Also known as Gates of the Valley, Valley View is one of the most peaceful, postcard-worthy views in all of Yosemite Valley, and it's worth a stop any time of day. I love golden hour here, but if you arrive for sunrise, you're likely to have this spot all to yourself, and watching the sun's first light shine between El Capitan and Bridal Veil Fall is unforgettable. It's a great place for a mid-afternoon picnic and a favorite spot of photographers at golden hour. Plus, if you stay for sunset, you can watch the spectacular starry night skies here. And so Valley View really is the perfect way to round out California's Majestic Mountain Loop road trip adventure after 20 incredible stops, 4 days, and 3 national parks. Thank you so much for joining me along California's Majestic Mountain Loop this week. And make sure to check out majesticmountainloop.com for more on this epic 3-part journey. And head over to YosemiteThisYear.com and visit Visalia.com to find in-depth and valuable resources for planning your next trip to Sequoia, Kings Canyon, and Yosemite, and their incredible gateway communities. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button and subscribe. And until next time, I hope you find adventure and encouragement wherever you go. Bye.